Thank you, everyone, for coming here and tuning in to the Bad Posture Podcast. We're in episode 3. We're going to be talking about a few things here tonight, particularly about meat. It seems like a very heavy meat topic, type of podcast for some reason. But we got a lot of different things to talk about. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't already, you should definitely check us out on Spotify. You should follow our Spotify channel. You should definitely follow our new Bad Posture Podcast YouTube channel, where you can subscribe and get notified when we have a new episode. For those of us that are watching us live here on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the podcast. I appreciate it. Fellas, hello. How are you guys doing?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Literally anytime.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what I kind of want to talk about today is something that we haven't really brought to the podcast yet, and it's kind of a deeper dive into the content that we've done and other things that we have done within this kind of brand of I don't know what you wouldn't even call this line of content, this brand of content that we've done. And one of the things that we have done is we effectively run a Minecraft SMP server called ScubaCraft, for anyone who may not know. And I know a lot of our viewers right now very much do know and may even be playing on it at this moment. But we created a Minecraft SMP server, and it has been around for, how long has it been around for, guys? Like a year now? Over a year?
I would say over a year, because we just had the 1 year.
Yeah, we did. We had the 1 year in November. So we are over a year on this SMP and ScubaCraft. And we've definitely grown the community. We've had a lot of people. I think that we have amassed in total, if we count everybody that's joined, over 80 people, which is a pretty large amount, pretty large number, if you ask me. And we've built a great community, and it's been cool. It's been fun. I feel like everybody's been able to do their own thing, and I think that's exciting. One of the things that I was going to bring up is that when I started on Twitch, and I started doing live stream content and everything, if you would have told me that after, entering my third year of content, that I would be best known for Minecraft, I probably would have asked you what that game was. No, not really. But I probably would have never expected us to be playing Minecraft for 3 years. Because us three, you guys, like, we started playing that in damn near close to 2009, didn't we?
No.
All right,
so
we did not.
The day we started playing it was the day of my first in-car. So I would have been like 15, 16.
We played it like split screen, too.
Yeah.
There's split screen for this?
Yeah, we played it like in the quadrants.
We played it on the Xbox 360.
I didn't know it was split screen. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did.
I mean, I did know that. I no longer know that.
You just forgot it, yeah.
We used to, I didn't know. Okay, yeah. And so you said it was when you were 15, 16, so that was yesterday?
Yeah, basically yesterday.
You just had your in-car?
A few weeks ago, at least.
Yeah, at least. So that would have been...
When did Minecraft come out?
That was 2009.
Oh, was it?
We definitely have not been playing it since the beginning.
Then it must have been like...
Yeah.
Wait, if it was 15, 16, so... I bet it was 2011.
I think you're right about it being 2011. 2011. I don't know why I said that.
So then...
it was first made public in May 2009, and before fully releasing in 2011.
Damn, I'm 2 for 2, baby. So we've been playing that then for on and off over 10 years.
Yeah, just crazy.
Yeah, and over a year has been this server. So a 10th of our time playing Minecraft. Well, let me take that back. We've definitely played on this server more than we've ever played Minecraft, period.
Yeah.
On the ScubaCraft one?
Yeah, probably close.
Well, yeah, probably. All of our worlds kept getting corrupted, so we had to
Yeah,
keep
that's true.
restarting.
That's true.
Yeah.
The weird thing, I know you guys remember this, is that when we used to do that, because that was always fun. You would go, that you would play with your friends, you would make your own world, you would do this thing. The weird, charming thing about Minecraft is that it's almost more fun to start over than it is to get really far ahead. And so you would frequently start a new world and you would have a new idea, and then once the world was done, it wasn't that big a deal to start from scratch, because that was the exciting, fun part. And I know that we always used to name all of our Minecraft worlds after a soccer player.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea how that started. I don't remember how that started.
I think we were probably playing FIFA at the time, and Eric would always suggest the last name of a soccer player.
Was that during because we got really into the World Cup one year? Was
The
it
one year the United States was in the World Cup? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure,
yeah, that one time. So it might have been
That
around
was
there.
2012, I'm pretty sure.
Well, we were
That
still
sounds right.
playing. Then we probably did. I know that some of the names that we had were Jovinho,
Gervinho.
Yeah.
Mourinho, yes.
Yaya Torres.
Yaya Toure. Yeah.
Sorry, Torres.
I don't remember that one.
Yaya. We had Yaya.
It could very
Oh.
well have not been one.
No, we had
But-
Yaya Toure. We did have Yaya Toure.
We had Mbappe.
Mbappe.
Which is the one that we played on for a really long time.
And then we have Ronaldo, which is the one that we had right before the ScubaCraft server went live.
Is that the one where we learned that we could fish for mending books? Is
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah.
Okay. We learned a lot in that server.
Yeah, it's funny because we we started Ronaldo in 2019, and I swear to God, we had been playing since 2011, and we knew nothing about the game relatively. Like we never did anything with potions. We never did enchantment stuff.
Yes.
We just built, or I guess what I would say is I never did.
We just tried to. No, I mean, no, you're 100% right. Like until Mbappe, we never really experimented with potions and enchantments and stuff like that. We definitely beat it a few times over, I would say.
Yeah, definitely did. I remember us beating it for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And me thinking it was the coolest thing ever.
That was split screen.
That was split screen. Now I'm starting to have a vivid memory of that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part about that too is that we beat it. I thought it was the biggest deal to have beaten Minecraft. I come to ScubaCraft. ScubaCraft has all these younger folk that play Minecraft, and I come to find out that it's just not a fucking big deal, and people do this in 5 minutes.
Yeah, like people race to do it, and they do it in like a half hour.
Yeah, and it takes us months, and we're like, it has every day we have to have like a plan. We have to go fight an Enderman and get an orb or something. And so,
That's because some people were slower than others.
are you saying I was? I was not.
Some people.
Okay, well, there's only so many. There's only us three. Sorry, Alex.
I also want to say the first time it took us a few months. I would say if we put our heads together, we could beat it. And a non-hardcore world, I think we could beat it in one night. I would say pretty easily.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. But back then, it was a challenge. And also back then, Minecraft, it was weird because we grew up, Minecraft wasn't like, I think when we first started playing, it wasn't like hyper popularized. But then like it got popular through PewDiePie. And then it had and then people did not like it for a while. And then it got popularized again with Twitch and YouTube content from Dream and the boys and all those people. And now I feel like it's at like an all-time high when it comes to like level of interest in that game in particular.
Yeah. It's weird. The lifespan of that game is really crazy. Because like a few years ago, it just kind of reignited with like the S&P Live and like Jay Schlatt and like that whole resurgence. So it wasn't like that a few years ago. I mean, it was definitely like the Fortnite of 5 years ago, of like the cringe like little kid game, I guess, for like a long time. But yeah, I remember even like very sheepishly playing it when I was in high school, which is when we started, when I was like 15. And like it being like not something I was like going to school and like broadcasting to everyone that I went home and played Minecraft with my friends every night. And I forget what it was. Maybe like one of my high school friends was over, and I had it downloaded on my Xbox, and he saw it and was like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "I love Minecraft," and we just like talked about it forever. So I mean, it is one of those games. It's so like accessible and universal
Mhm.
that I think that's probably why it's stuck around for so long. You can just jump right into it and play it however you want. Um, yeah, it's just I don't know. It's a crazy game. I can't believe it's been around that long.
One of my high school friends as well, like, I don't even, we'd been friends forever, and then randomly we were talking about Minecraft. He's like, "Oh, you play Minecraft?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, and then everyone else, like 5 other people, were like, "Wait, I play Minecraft," and then
Yeah.
like no one just talked about it. They're like, "Oh," so I think everyone just played Minecraft, and then once it got popular, everyone was comfortable saying they played it.
Hmm.
I it's funny you bring that up because I feel that there has been I know that a lot of people that watch this and watch our content are a little bit younger, so I kind of gotta talk about the good old days or whatever. Back then, back when we were in high school, like shit like that was taboo. You didn't broadcast that you played Minecraft. You know, big thing for me is like I loved Yu-Gi-Oh. I never told anybody I loved to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
And you never said you watched anime ever. You just didn't. It was social, for lack of a better word. Well, it was you want to have a social life after that. People would not look at you the same way at all. And I feel like today, from just my experience with interacting with a wider community, it's just like everybody just talks about it. And everybody's doing this. The popularization of anime and just like culture now is ridiculous. I've never seen people be so open and accepting to that. So open and accepting to Minecraft, so open and accepting to video games, Pokemon, all of it. I've never seen that before. And then when we were growing up, it was like you were labeled immediately as a loser, as a nerd, as everything. It's so different now.
Hmm.
I Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I also knew a lot of like people in high school I was friends with that played COD. Like Brady and some people, they played COD and they would do like scrims and stuff like that. So it may just be that it was just mainly COD and Halo, which we weren't really into the competitive scenes of either of those. But I know a lot of people in high school played those games like
Yeah.
together.
And another thing with that is like the rising tide of like internet culture. Um, it like I got my first smartphone. God, I sound like such an old man, but I got my first smartphone when I was like 15, when I was a freshman in high school. So like having the internet in your pocket just from then going forward, I feel like everyone is not necessarily on the same page, but getting exposed to different things and sharing things more. Um, whereas like you weren't really doing, or we weren't doing before then.
That's
Uh,
when iFunny was like actually acceptable to use.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
Nah, that shit was
everyone
never
used it.
acceptable to use. That shit sucks.
That was always pretty bad.
Yeah.
Do you remember the little, what was it? It was, I don't think it was a Nokia. It was like a little white phone, and like the bottom half had like a little plastic flip,
Yeah, I know
and
what
it
you're
would,
talking about.
yeah, I don't know why the hell I picked that phone. That was absolutely a downgrade from the one I had before, but
I don't remember that at all.
oh, I jumped in the pool with it.
Yeah, I
Nice,
watched
man.
that. That was cool.
Did.
I
I
do
put it in rice and it didn't help.
I do think, Jake, to your point, is that it's definitely different now because of the accessibility to things in modern culture now, and just you are able to expose yourself to a wider array of interests that people have.
Mhm,
Back when we were growing up, when smartphones weren't as popularized or well even invented. Um, you had to like actively be seeking that stuff out, and I feel like that is definitely brings a different stigma when if you just are going through life passively now, you're going to be exposed to some of these things no matter what, just purely by existing. It's just all
mhm,
around. But back then, if you just went through life passively, you wouldn't there's no way you would just stumble across some of these things. It just wasn't the same time period. And so I think there definitely was a stigma when it came down to when a person talked about this stuff or discovered it. It was definitely met with a why are you looking into this stuff? What prompted you to like look into this stuff? It's weird. Like anime was I definitely had this viewpoint as well. It's like I thought anime was just like, you know, cartoon naked girls. I just thought that's what it was. I didn't
What?
know. I didn't know.
I definitely didn't think that.
Yeah, I also do not think that.
That's what I
I
thought.
mainly thought it was like Naruto and like things like that.
Well,
and,
that's
like,
why.
Dragon
That's
Ball
probably
Z.
why I thought it, because of Naruto, because of the sexy jutsu.
Yeah, well, because I had a friend and he gave me, what was it, the like Shonen Jump All Stars for like DS.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, yeah.
and then I had manga at like a super young age and reading like Hunter x Hunter, and that shit was tight. That was nice.
I wasn't exposed to it. I didn't have friends that were into anime. I didn't have friends that were talking about anime or actively watching anything. And the closest I ever got to anime was watching the Pokemon series or the Yu-Gi-Oh series. And even then, I would say those are anime light. I mean, they're anime, but like Yu-Gi-Oh is made by 4 kids, so I don't even know if that can call that an anime anymore.
I thought Pokemon was actually pretty widely accepted, like
Yeah.
for people to play. Like I remember playing that like junior senior year in study hall on like my phone with some
Dragon
people.
Ball as well.
Yeah, like all like the big four, like Naruto, One Piece, Dragon
Mhm.
Ball Z, and Bleach. Although no one watched Bleach.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember too, like when I was maybe 17, I started Attack on Titan, and that was pretty crazy.
That was
Yeah,
out that long ago?
yeah,
Yeah, the first season
I
was on
was
Netflix.
I was telling Ryan because the episode just came out and we watched it. It's only episode 76. It's absurd
Yeah,
to think there's only been it came out like
10 years ago
2000.
almost.
Yeah, insane.
I remember watching like the first season, or let me rephrase. I remember trying to watch the
Mhm.
first season in college, like my
I
sophomore
think
year.
I might have recommended it to you, honestly.
And then I watch the first
Yeah, you probably
episode. I
did.
watch fucking Aaron's mom get eaten. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like this might not be the show for me.
And here we are.
Here we are.
And you know what's funny? That same friend that I found out liked Minecraft.
Yeah.
He was texting me today about Attack on Titan, funnily enough. And he's a
Nice.
doctor. He's literally a doctor.
Oh,
So,
well,
Let's
that's so
go.
cool. That's so
yeah.
cool.
He's gonna turn people into Titans.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like what's his name? Grisha Jaeger? Anyway.
Yeah, Grisha. Spoiler.
But yeah, it's crazy how like ubiquitous like internet culture and Minecraft and anime, like all that shit that we once like considered taboo, like the impact it's had on the culture. I don't know.
I think one of the biggest examples I have is that when growing up, sports was a big part of my life, so that I wanted to be viewed as a sports guy.
Mhm.
And it definitely, I feel like back then you kind of had a certain box that you were in categorically. Kind of, you were viewed as more of a jock or a nerd or a music person or this or this or this. I feel like it's not the same anymore. But I remember being really into sports, watching sports, playing sports, and you didn't share that side of like liking anime or liking Yu-Gi-Oh or liking Pokemon or liking X, Y, and Z, which are things I was interested in, but I kept on the down low. I remember it being such a big shock to me when I discovered there were athletes that were openly expressing that they liked anime or they made reference in their apparel to like Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z. Or like started talking about it, or started talking when Fortnite blew up. Athletes just talking about how they were playing Fortnite. Ninja playing Fortnite with Drake. It was like two different. It was just two realities colliding. I'm like, how is this possible? It was the coolest and strangest thing to ever happen.
I still don't know how that's possible. Drake and Ninja. Like what? And then he got Drake, Ninja, Travis Scott, and Juju Smith-Schuster.
To be fair, Drake and
Ninja.
Ninja, both huge weenies. So
No, that's what I'm saying. But then you got Travis Scott.
You
and
can't say that. Drake
Like,
listens to this podcast.
oh my bad.
Juju's
Sorry,
a weenie.
Aubrey.
He's a weenie too. I don't know about Travis Scott. I have no idea.
Oh wow. Whatever.
Yeah, Andrew said I watch kids do the Naruto things with their hands at recess in like grade 3, and that freaked me out.
Yeah, and to your point, Ryan, you talked about being perceived as like I won't say jock. I don't know if that was ever a thing that was relevant when I was
Right.
in school, but like definitely like as a sports guy, I remember really wanting to be like a music guy.
Mhm.
And so I bought like a Ramones t-shirt. And so like you have these like categories, and there absolutely is like the anime kid or like the
Yeah.
person who likes video games, and like you put your like there's all these boxes. And I hope that that's gone, but I also think there is still some of that. Like you think of like dream stands and like K-pop and things like that. There are definitely people who identify so hard with their own box. So I don't know. Maybe the internet has actually amplified that, but
There's just new boxes. Those
yeah,
everyone's just out of those.
There,
My friend group was just a bunch of people in a bunch of different boxes.
yeah.
I had nerdy people, I had sporty people, I had smart people.
you
Mhm.
had dumb people.
Yeah, we sure did, baby. That's what we all shared.
I,
Even the
fe-
smart ones
I
were
feel
dumb.
I feel like people are within multiple boxes now. Like it's not. It's like the Russian doll.
The
Mhm.
Russian doll, the
Like you just
Russian
open it
nesting
up and
doll.
there's another little one and a little one. I feel like that's more.
Yeah, like there are more subcategories.
Yeah, yeah. But I will. I also, to your point, I feel like people are more are white knuckling those categories a little bit stronger now than they did before. Like I wanted to be perceived as something, sure, but like I don't know if I ever was at the point where I'm like, this has to happen or else like my entire identity is in crisis. I do feel like it is almost portrayed that certain elements or certain characteristics of people, certain interests or hobbies, they white knuckle those to the point where they want everybody to know them as that. Or if they do, and if they aren't, addressed as such a thing, then, or acknowledged as being that type of person, that it is a really big deal. And I think that's different than it was before.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So it's yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna say because you were talking about how you were a sports guy, uh, and you were a sports guy, but you also uh, got hurt a lot being a sports guy.
Oh, I didn't get that hurt.
Every time you and I played on a team, you would get hurt.
It's not true.
We played low league football, and the first I don't even know what game it was, and that's not to say you didn't have bad people on your
It was the
team.
first game.
It was the first game.
It was the first game of the season.
This dude's out the freaking season.
Listen. I wasn't out the first. I was not out the season.
And
first of all.
then because so many people on your team was bad, they
Yeah.
had to bring us up, and it was like 5th and 6th grade, and we would just get obliterated by people a year older than us.
Listen.
What?
First of all, I got hurt because I was the quarterback and I also had to play defense. So I was doing double duty and I got clipped in the back on
Everyone
defense.
had to play.
Yeah, grade school football, everyone's playing
Everyone
both
played
sides of the
both
ball.
sides.
But I was a quarterback. You thought I would get some special
And I was the
treatment.
receiver. I'm gonna get freaking what is it?
No, it's okay.
Clothesline down
You
the
can
middle?
swear on this podcast. You're allowed to swear on this podcast. So say it.
No, there could be little kids watching or listening.
Good.
But then I would get
Teach them a word.
clothesline down the middle.
Did that happen to you?
Only one time.
Yeah. Okay.
And guess what happened? Guess what happened?
What happened?
I didn't get hurt.
I couldn't listen. I got clipped. I couldn't lift my arm. I couldn't move.
I know that's called being hurt and injured.
Yeah, I was hurt and injured that I got to play again once it healed.
But healed. I don't remember that.
I do. It was horrible.
I don't.
I don't get hurt all the time though. I think is the bigger point is that I really don't.
No, you do. And I keep telling you that the solution is just stretch, and you keep telling me no.
I don't think stretching would have saved me in that instance. I think that you think stretching is more miraculous.
In your later
than what
years,
it is.
I think if you're like a flexible person, like it feels really good to stretch. But if you're not flexible,
I'm not. I can't.
I
I'm
feel
not.
like if you're not flexible, it feels even better to stretch because then you're really going for it.
No, it hurts.
Oh,
I know.
Okay, my fault.
I'm not a flexible person. It hurts. I can't touch my toes, and it hurts when I try to touch my toes.
You went to the gym today, and you were like, "Yo, look at this!"
did.
And you bend down, and you're about to touch your toes, and I look at your knees, and they're just bending.
I'm just sitting in a
Okay,
chair.
cool,
Look at
cool.
this. Look, I can touch my toes.
he's tying his shoes.
His knees to his chest. Look,
I sometimes because like I don't want to get into it tonight, but occasionally when I put socks on, I pull a muscle in my side.
there's no way.
What?
I swear to God, like it happens.
A muscle in your
I don't know why.
side.
You
I
best
like
believe.
strain a muscle in my. I can. Oh, by the way, before I sat down tonight, I bent over and I touched my toes, so I can do that.
Before we get into that, because I'm gonna get into that, because that's just absurd to
Yeah.
pull a hammy, put it on a sock.
Not a hammy. It's like on my side. I don't know why it happens.
I don't know why it happens either. Have you
It's just a
considered
weird
stretching?
thing. I never stretch, and I really should. Even when I like run, like halfway through the run, I'll be like, oh, I forgot to stretch.
Yeah, there you go. Then you're dead.
And I do like to do yoga. I need to get back into that because there was a time where I was
Yeah,
regularly
you were
doing
big
that.
into yoga.
Yeah, and it felt really good. It felt great every morning
Yeah.
waking up. But yeah.
When Ryan and I were at, what was it, for Christmas? We have
Yeah.
a great aunt who's 80, like gotta be 85 plus, and our grandma is also like around the same age. She came over and she like put her purse down, and she like forgot some out of it. She came back, she like bends down and grabs it. I tell my mom like, oh, like she's pretty flexible for like an old woman. And then our mom, being our mom, said that to her like, oh yeah, Eric thinks you're flexible. I'm like, okay. And then without even saying anything, she just bends down and touches her toes. I'm like, huh?
She fucking
And then
flexed on me, dude. She just had to
Yeah, and
show
then-
off in front of like, look what I could
Yeah,
do.
'cause
Stretched on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
our grandma comes over and then she does it. And I'm like, and then Ryan, being 27, can't even touch like the top end of his Nike socks. So
I think that's the first time anyone has used Ryan's age in an effort to prove that he's young.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, kind of. But like, I'm confused now about how I should. It literally, Christmas was people lining up, going up to me, facing me, and then just touching their toes, and then going back and like exiting the line. Then the next person would stand up and touch their toes. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck?
Was it on stream when you kept saying that your hip was hurting like a
Yeah.
few days ago?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why his hip was hurting was because I was showing him some stretches and I was having him kick in the air and like put his hand straight out and kick to his hand.
Yeah.
And then that night he's like, "Oh man, I really feel like I gotta pop my hip." I'm like, "Oh my god, this guy just hurt his hip."
He has
Stretch
to get a
trying
hip
to
replaced.
yeah. 27.
He's online looking at like hips that he's pricing out at $3,000. He wants to get the nice hip with the turbo setting.
Yeah, he wants to make sure that has anti-gravity.
Yeah.
It's a gold hip. It's just like made of pure gold.
Maria, I need you to crank my hip.
Like the old timey cars. I've never
cars. You mean TVs?
No, the old timey cars. Like you have to crank them in the front to get them to start.
That's not
Flintstone
true.
cars?
That is true. That's an actual thing.
Can Andrew weigh in here?
Do you
Those
remember
are-
when that bird went through
Shut
that?
the fuck up. No one knows that reference.
A story for another day.
Yeah, we'll pocket that. The bird story. Chat, remember this. Remember the bird story. And don't let us not tell it sometime. See? And Andrew's confirming I know something about cars. Take that. Get owned.
You had
Crank
to
your car.
crank a car? What?
In the very front, there used to be a crank. And in order to get the engine to run and to start, you would have to crank it. It's literally, you know how I know that that's a true thing? It's in a movie you guys have seen.
Flintstones.
No, it's literally in 101
Scooby-Doo.
Dalmatians, the original animated one.
Crankshaft.
It's called a crankshaft, yeah.
Is it called a crankshaft?
It's called a crankshaft.
I got it
Crankshaft.
right.
See, now we have to rename the podcast.
Yeah, call it crankshaft.
Rebrand.
Crank that shaft.
we're the podcast that rebrands every episode. We just get a new name.
Yeah.
Crankshaft podcast. Actually sounds pretty good.
Doesn't sound bad. Yeah. Well, let's make a second podcast because this one's going so well. 3 episodes in, baby. How did we get here, and how did we get back to where we were before? Where
I
were
don't know,
we?
but let's move on to the fact that you can't swim.
Oh, I can't stretch.
And the fact that if you were out in the water and you can't stretch, what happens when you get a cramp then in the water?
I die. It's
Swimming.
pretty simple. I can't. Okay.
I don't like just saying that Ryan doesn't know how to swim because I don't think that's true.
I think that I don't think he knows how to like swim conventionally, but I also think that if we just put him in water, like he wouldn't just die. You know what I mean? Like if I just tossed him in the ocean, like he could survive for a little bit.
Where would I go?
Where would anyone go if they're in the middle of the ocean?
Down, they'd sink, they'd die.
Head down. They'd probably get eaten.
I can like hold myself above water. Like if you threw me at a pool and you threw me into the deep end, it's 12 feet of water. Like, can I hold myself up above water? Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you're
The-
really frantic when you do, though. Like when
I'm
you're
s-
in the deep end, you're like extremely. You look scared.
It's because I am. I don't enjoy deep water.
I
And
remember playing. What?
I was just gonna say, like, I can do the hold my head above water part. I can't swim underwater.
Hold your head above water challenge. Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah.
So you can tread water, but you can't like. Okay, are you talking about like doing like swim strokes?
I can, if I'm above water, I can do strokes above water. I can't swim underwater.
You
So
can
this
do
has
strokes?
changed.
Wait, you can do strokes.
I don't like
above
that this
water?
has changed on the broadcast.
I don't consider that as swimming. I don't think I can swim if I can't swim underwater.
It's
Huh?
not knowing how to swim means you are in water and then you are like, I can't swim.
I
can't.
I can like hold myself above water, but if I were to like be underwater,
Right.
I would not
But
be able
Andrew
to.
nailed it in the chat and said if you can tread water, you can swim. That's true.
I don't.
That's what it means to know.
I don't. I guess my confidence level in that is just so low that it feels like I can't swim.
I remember when we used to play pool basketball in
3 feet of
like
water.
yeah, and you would just get water splashed on your head. You would have to go out and grab a towel, and then you'd come back.
I didn't like water in my eyes. It was uncomfy.
This guy, bro, this guy. When you go outside, do you put on like a full hazmat suit?
Yeah, I
Because
lived.
just water gets on your head?
I
And
lived
then
my
underneath
life
it, he puts
with
his what? You live your life with what?
Episode 3, baby.
What do you live your life with?
with bubble wrap around me was what I was
Bubble
gonna
wrap
say.
around you.
Yeah, I live my life.
It's ironic your name's Scuba and you're not a great swimmer.
Yeah, that's the joke.
No, it's not. The joke's because you wore a sleeve.
We don't
for
have to get into
basketball.
the nitty
Oh,
gritty.
he's never told the story.
It's not a good story. It's just not a good story.
Well, I don't think it's a good story. I'm just saying that's why you're called that.
Okay, thanks. I thought I was lying. I was hoping that you would say it's a no, man, it's a really good story. You should tell it.
Do you think it's a good story?
No.
Okay, then we're in agreement. I wore a shooter sleeve. People thought it looked like scuba gear. Named Scuba.
Yeah.
I drew a crooked line with a ruler. They called me Lumpy. There you go.
I can't really talk about my name.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now everybody's gonna think it's such a fucking terrible reason.
That's fine.
That's great. That's great. But no, back. I feel like just by pure, the rules of buoyancy, like, yeah, I could like be above water. You just flap around your arms and your legs. But to me, I don't feel like that's swimming. I don't feel like that's swimming. I don't feel like I know how to swim. I feel like if I was underwater, I would have a very tough time resurfacing.
If I were to put you in a pool that is only 10 feet deep, and I had you sit there for like 20 to 30 minutes, would you drown?
20 to 30 minutes, I probably cramp up and then.
Because you can't stretch.
Are we
But-
assuming this is a pool where like there's no edges, so like I can't hang on to the edge?
You cannot hang on to the edge.
Okay, so
There
like
are
you
no
want
edges in the sea.
me.
I view swimming as can you just survive in the
So,
in the water?
You're asking, can I tread water in 10 feet of water for 20 to 30 minutes straight and not
You
drown?
You could just
The
you
answer is
don't have
no.
to you don't have to tread. You can float.
I would not be. No, I can't. I don't know how to float.
You don't know how to float. Just
I don't
Put
know how to
your-
float on my back.
so you know how to float on your stomach.
I don't know how to float on my stomach either. No, I don't know how to float, period. I could probably do dead man's float after I
You
drown.
You asked for the edges.
I was just
scenario,
You
the
whatever.
edges.
You get the bumpers when you go bowling. I'm asking for the edges when I go swimming. I feel like that's
But
comparable.
bowling isn't life or death.
It could be,
I can
the
be
way
bad
I
at
bowl.
bowling and still survive. It'd be embarrassing, but I can still live.
I feel like 20 to 30 minutes treading water in a like infinite pool is hard. That would be hard. 20, 30 minutes treading water, that's difficult for anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't. Yeah, I feel like that's a bad example. Eric, think about that a little bit.
My bad, Michael Phelps. I didn't realize.
And these broad shoulders I have.
Nah, you know how to swim.
I don't feel comfortable enough to be able to say that.
I just have personally never seen you do any type of like stroke you were talking about. How you said that you could.
I could swim like across the pool, like from one side to the other side, turn around and do it again.
You just said the words, I could swim.
I can swim.
He
He looks like, I think I haven't seen you swim or be in water or pool or whatever in forever, but I feel like it always looks like as if you put a dog in there. It looks like that. So just imagine Ryan in the pool, but he's a dog.
Yeah, you could doggy paddle. I feel like that comes naturally to everyone.
I could doggy paddle probably,
Comes natural to dogs.
And you know how to fucking
okay,
swim.
no. You could throw a baby in water and it will figure out how to get.
That is not true.
You can. No, yes, you can.
That is not.
Someone needs to confirm. You can. You could throw a baby in water and it will learn, or not learn how to swim, but it will find a way to resurface.
But why would anyone just throw a baby in the water?
Where do you think the saying "you throw the baby out with the bathwater" comes from?
This guy is grasping at straws. This guy is zooted off a stack right now. I don't know.
I'm saying that if you threw a baby in water, it wouldn't survive forever. Obviously, we're not cruel here, but like I'm saying, like you could do it, and a baby would be able to, resurface out of the water just fine. I feel
its buoyancy.
I am saying I am as good a swimmer as like a baby you throw into the water. That's about the level.
If you can swim across a pool, Ryan, you are a better swimmer than a baby.
I've seen some talented babies. I've seen a lot of babies.
Talented babies.
I've seen some
baby geniuses too.
I've seen some babies swim across the pool, and I feel like they're more proficient at it than I am. I failed out swim lessons. I failed.
We did not fail out.
We did.
Our mommy took us out.
Okay, that counts as failing.
No, it doesn't. You're lying. Stop.
We didn't go back because we were bad.
No, we didn't go back because we were bad. We didn't go back because the lady was trying to drown us. We had never even done any swimming, and then she's like, "Here, are you ready to be a Navy SEAL?" And we're like, "Okay."
Wait, so you're saying you were a baby and you were too young, and then the instructor threw you into the pool? And
we were very young.
We were going to drown?
We weren't babies. We weren't babies, but we were very young. But the instructor 10. She didn't even put us in. Oh, well, I think we were younger than 10. But the instructor didn't put us in water we could touch. She just it's 10, 15 feet of water. And then she's like, just go swim to that side. We're like, huh? What do you mean? How do I do that? And then after the second or third time, my mom took us out because she couldn't stand it.
We had to the instructor would have us do pencil dives. And that is...
She did?
Yeah, at least I had to do them. I remember them because it scarred me for life.
I don't remember.
She said she had someone do a pencil dive. And you just are straight up and then you just jump down straight like a pencil, right? Yeah. And the thing is with me back then, it was like I didn't go underwater. I didn't touch things I didn't go in water that was deeper than I could touch ever. And she's pointing at me, she's like, do it. And I said, I don't and I remember this. This is what I remember. This is why I'm scarred for life. Our mother said, hey, if you're ever uncomfortable with something, you just tell your instructor, hey, I'm uncomfortable. Excuse me, I'm uncomfortable with doing this. I don't really want to do that. I'm just not there yet. And I said those words to the instructor. I said, I don't know if I'm comfortable doing this. And the instructor said, do it. Just do it. And then she grabbed me and threw me in.
I remember you saying. I actually remember you saying that.
Yeah,
forever ago.
Yes, it's real. I'm not just. I was thrown in the water like a baby, and I performed as well as a baby.
As a baby.
Exactly. And I went underwater, and I didn't understand the physics of water. I didn't know you couldn't breathe it in. So I was choking on water, trying to
I
emerge
remember
back to
that.
the top.
I remember when you emerged, you were like coughing up a storm.
And then I had to try to swim. Yeah, and I was listen. That was the era of George Bush. I was being waterboarded. It's normal back then, right? So
Nice.
they were trying to get information from me.
Glad we slipped that one in there.
Well,
Talking
that,
about
zinger.
George in the
Bush.
water.
What's up, boomers? This podcast is for you, baby. And I had to swim like to the other side, try to, as I'm like gulping in water, drowning myself. And I go to the other side, and I'm clinging on to the side, coughing up all this water. And from that point on, I was emotionally scarred from swimming.
Yeah, and so was our mom.
Yeah, well, yeah, our mom did not enjoy watching us get waterboarded in front of her. So
But we did get Yu-Gi-Oh cards out of it.
that was a different
So-
thing. It was not from that.
Wait, what?
No, that was not from swim lessons. We did not get
Yes,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
it was.
No, it was not. It
Yeah,
was
don't
not.
talk to me like I'm stupid. Yeah, it was.
No, it was not.
Okay. All right. Next podcast, I'll make sure that's the very first thing I say when I confirm that from
Okay.
source mom.
We went to Myrtle Beach. We had to swim across the pool.
It's probably both occasions.
We did not get that many Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Yeah, we probably did.
Yes, we
Anyway,
did.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards were a currency for us back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do almost anything for Yu-Gi-Oh
Did-
cards back then, but swimming was the breaking point.
Did you ever go to there was a fast food place around where we lived, Jake, and they had like Yu-Gi-Oh like Wednesdays or some day, I don't know. But we went there and uh someone was trying to trade Ryan his like dragon card that didn't have a name because the whole name was missing. And
Hmm.
so he was very popular because of that.
Hmm.
Did you ever go to any of those?
No. Can you say the name of the restaurant, or is it too local?
It's too local.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
remember that.
But speaking of local things, this actually brings up this brings up a little story that I have regarding me not being able to swim. And I think that you guys will find this quite funny. So without revealing the name, because it is too local, as you guys, I worked at a water park for a while.
Hmm.
And my job was to issue new season passes. That was my job. I was literally in an office. It was air conditioned and everything. I was just sitting at a computer. I did it for like 5-6 hours a day. And that was my job. And that's what I signed up for. Well, first of all, the park was mismanaged terribly. So you would have, we were understaffed and we had to be moved to different positions frequently to make up for other people not being able to go to that position. And so I would I would have to like manage the arcade. I once had to like give drinks to people and like make drinks. I had to wait on people who were like trying to get a cabana. I had to make pizzas. I had to do all of that stuff. And then there was one day when there was not enough lifeguards. And
Is that
so
illegal?
I would think so. But anyway, there was one day there's not enough lifeguards. And they didn't have enough lifeguards to be at every single attraction. Most of them were like slides and stuff like that, or water, whatever, water slides and stuff. And so they asked me, they said, would you be able to do this? Would you be able to lifeguard the slide? And I said to them, like, I'm not a lifeguard. I don't have a lifeguard. I don't have like a license to lifeguard. And they said, no, that's fine. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. I can't swim. I can't swim. I couldn't save anybody. I would drown in an effort to save someone else. And then we probably would both drown. And they said, it will be fine. So they gave me swim trunks and a shirt. And they told me, they said, all you got to do is go to the top of this water slide and you just like tell people to go down.
I remember
Because you were there, you were at the bottom doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Neither of us lifeguards.
Too. You're afraid of heights
Yeah,
too.
so it was great
you're
because I was
yeah,
afraid of
fair.
heights. I had to be at the top. I'm afraid I can't swim, so I'm up there at the top having to issue people down. I could not save anybody if they would die. And so I'm pissing myself. and not getting paid enough, making like $7 on the hour at this time. Yeah, I just had to do that. And yeah, of course that was illegal. Yes, absolutely they could have been sued for that. But I did
Yeah,
it.
that was wild. Yeah.
I did it for about like an hour and a half up there until someone new came that was actually like an actual lifeguard.
That same place, because when I did admissions, you would have to like take all your money and put it in like a little green pouch, and then you go inside to whatever the clubhouse and you hand it to the person who's gonna like cash you out and make sure all the money is correct with like your transactions to make sure you didn't steal stuff. And then she said, "Oh, do you have any more money?" I was like, "No." And she's like, "Okay." And then she's like, "You're missing like $1,000." I'm like, "What?" And so then like 3 or 4 higher ups came in and they were like looking through it and like thinking I just stole some stuff. And then I'm pretty sure it just like she typed it in wrong is what it boiled down to. But uh that accompanied with the whole baby gap being stolen from me right under my nose
Yeah.
is really unfortunate.
You've led into that, so you pretty much have to tell that story. Or do we save that story?
I'm pretty sure I already have.
On the stream a million years ago, though.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll save the baby gap. That's done. Chat, remember the baby gap story as well, because that's a good story. We'll do that for another episode. That's a golden nugget of a story too.
I love that story.
That's so good. That's so good. But basically, what I'm getting at is that I was definitely put in a lot of compromising situations, and due to my traumatic experience with swim lessons, never thought I could swim. I never felt comfortable in deep bodies of water. And then, due to my experience at this water park, where they're putting me in a position where I have to save somebody else's life if something were to go wrong, I'm definitely I feel like from those situations, that is why I'm so defensive and say no, I can't swim, because I'm afraid people are going to assume I can and then expect that I can do something, and I simply cannot do anything.
What?
Like, I couldn't save somebody.
Who's gonna put you in that position?
Well, apparently my employer. Apparently, the water park put me in a position where I would have to try to save somebody if something were to go wrong, or someone to get hurt, or someone were to do X, Y, and Z, and I was not qualified to be able to do that. So, just to save everybody the time and trouble, I just say I can't swim.
Yeah, so you lie.
No, well,
but we've determined you can swim. So I'm right, Ryan. I feel like this is a moment for you where you think you're right, but in reality, I'm right. You're lying about not being able to swim.
I am saying that I would not. I can barely even save myself when it comes to swimming.
It sounds like you're saying it's easier to say you can't, which is a lie.
I feel like I can't swim well enough to be able to say that I can swim.
But you can swim.
I feel like it's like it's like when you say like, hey, like Serena Williams can play tennis, but I also can play tennis. It's like, yeah, but like not really. Like, she plays tennis. I kind of just
have
like
to swim as well as Michael Phelps to be able to swim.
Exactly. Also, I have a phobia of vomit. I hate vomit. It really grosses me out, and I can't be around it. Whatever. If my choice was between like wading waist deep in vomit to save somebody's life, I probably would be able to muster up and do it.
Can I say this?
I
real
would.
quick
I'd let
about
him die.
vomit?
I'd let
Can
him
we get
fucking
on
die.
the vomit topic real quick?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it me or was everyone in like elementary school, were they all just throwing up in the
Yeah,
trash
dude.
can?
What the fuck? What? Some kid threw up when I was a senior in high school. Threw up in our classroom.
Yeah, so many
I'm
people
like,
just
what are you going? What are you
like,
doing?
bro, just go home. And the guy's just throwing up, and then it makes me want to throw up. And I'm like, my biggest fear was if someone throws up, I'm going to do it. I'm like, okay.
I distinctly remember being in maybe third grade, and one of my best friends who I sat next to went to the bathroom and like threw up in the toilet and came back and like told me about it. And then for the rest of the day, he was like whispering to me in class. And I'm like, and then like through the rest of the day, like it disturbed me so much. And I can't say this with full certainty, but I may have told on him. I may have gone up to the teacher and said, hey, he's sick. This guy's sick. He threw up in the bathroom.
Wow, bad friends.
I don't know what that was. I don't know if that still happens, but every kid was just throwing up like every day. I was like, okay.
I feel like everybody knows somebody that's thrown up in one of their classes in school. Everybody knows somebody.
It happened many times. Yeah.
Some dude got up. This was in high school. Got up, went over to the trash can, and just peed in it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it wasn't in my class. It was in class my friends in, and it was in the Spanish class. And he just got up to the trash can and he just started peeing in it. And the teacher just told him to leave. It's like, what the fuck?
An emergency, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. The kid was on something, but yeah, well, there's another story, but it's probably a little too gross.
Yeah, let's not get too carried away.
Because my elementary school, occasionally we were at church, and that was a hotbed for kids passing out and vomiting and all that.
Why?
Because the Holy Spirit touched them.
I don't know. Part of it is like it's like a big room, so maybe sometimes it's hot. I don't know. Also, like I remember at one point, I think almost passing out in church. I think it's just like, because it's always early in the morning, and you're a kid, so maybe you didn't eat breakfast, and
That's
you're
true.
just standing there for a half hour.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's so wild. I do remember kids puking, and I don't remember him peeing in trash cans. That's a very unique case.
There's only one time. I don't know why it happened, but he
Hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I think that just proves like every kid until like they're out of high school should have to be wearing a diaper, probably.
You're not putting a diaper on me, pal.
No, I'm gonna put a diaper on you, pal.
What?
I'm gonna put a diaper on you, call you Tommy Pickles.
Oh.
Put a diaper on me, shave my head, call me Tommy Pickles, dude.
Oh, wow.
Gonna hit you a screwdriver and everything, man.
They call that stew pickling.
Wait, why screwdriver? Did he always have a screwdriver?
Tommy Pickles always had a screwdriver, dog.
Yeah, like a little.
Why is Stu giving him a screwdriver?
It's a
It was like a
toy
little plastic
one. It's a toy one
for babies.
Oh, it's a plastic one for babies.
Yeah, it's like.
Did he fight a dinosaur?
What?
He fought like Reptar. There was an episode where Reptar was real.
The conceit of Rugrats is that
and it wasn't his imagination; it was
real.
real.
Oh, okay. Well, the conceit of Rugrats is that they're having adventures that are in their imagination, and then occasionally you see, because they're babies, they're unreliable narrators. So occasionally it zooms
I disagree.
out and shows what's really going on. Okay.
That was real.
Yeah. Okay. Him fighting a dinosaur is real.
I remember the one where Chucky Finster was on a bike and he went on a super big hill and he was scared about that.
Yeah.
I like to think that all the babies were just on a giant acid trip.
I think they were, and they were actually adults.
Yeah, all of them are actually the parents, and they're all just on an acid trip. And in their acid trip, they just are babies.
Yeah, they're looking at themselves as parents through the lens of a baby.
It's kind of like pretty meta.
Pretty profound if you think about it.
Yeah, I feel like Tommy Pickles. There's a real conversation to be had that Tommy Pickles is Indiana Jones.
Well, if you remember in the Rugrats movie, they reenact the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Jake, yes, I do remember the Rugrats movie.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he was at the
very beginning. Yeah, they just reenact Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It makes sense because he always has a screwdriver. Screwdriver is like Indiana Jones's whip.
Whip?
What?
Indiana Jones always carried around a whip.
I'm shaking my head.
And Tommy Pickles always carries around a screwdriver, so they're like one and the same. And it's like the same thing, kind of.
Sure.
Didn't he have more of an affinity towards his hat? Wasn't that like his big thing, his hat?
He had a hat. He wore a hat.
You can read a transcript somewhere of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas coming up with the idea behind Indiana Jones. And it's so funny because it's like paragraphs of, like, Steven Spielberg directed it. Wait, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like he had his friend George Lucas in to give him ideas. And it's like paragraphs of George Lucas being like, yeah, so this guy Indy, like he's almost like an American James Bond. Like he's thinking about it real conceptually. And he's like, and he has this whip. And like it's his security blanket, maybe his father gave it to him. It's like this psychological attachment. He must have it. It's what keeps him going. Like all this like character development and stuff. And then Steven Spielberg chimes in and goes, yeah, and maybe he like, I don't know, whips a girl and turns her around and gives her a kiss. It's like George Lucas actually writing like the
And that's what
character of Indiana
happens.
Jones, and then Steven Spielberg being like, "Yeah, and I don't know, maybe he does something wacky with it." The two greatest American filmmakers of our time.
and that's why they created what is and will go down as the greatest movie franchise of all time.
And what's that?
Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay, yeah, man, sure.
So I mean, they're making a fifth one. It's got to be pretty good if they're going to be making 5.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
They said the same thing about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or whatever it was. Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. I forget what it's called. Shia LaBeouf's in it.
Oh yeah, I remember watching that. And
Wait,
it was
what?
bad. Yeah, they're making a 5th one, dude.
I didn't know that.
Eric thought there was only one Indiana Jones movie.
No, I did not. I thought there were at least 3.
Well, there are at least 3. There's 5.
6.
Holy sh!
6.
Holy shit!
The 5th one is The Last Crusade, right?
Indiana
I thought that was
Jones
the 4th
5,
one.
2023.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, this will be the 5th one.
Yeah, idiot. Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. Lost Ark is the first one. Temple of Doom the second one. Last Crusade the third.
Have you guys watched those movies like anytime in recently? at
I
all?
watched The Last
No.
Crusade in high school.
I was super like into them.
They're
One of our friends
They're
from high school was
terrible.
into 'em.
They're horrible. That's my
What,
take.
man?
They're bad.
Come on,
They're
dude.
very bad. They don't hold up at all.
They don't hold up. I think they are fine.
Last Crusade's great. Sean Connery's in it.
I watched Indiana Jones with Maria for a while. I don't know why we watched it. I really have no reason to think that we picked
Because
that
they're
out.
spoopy.
It's not spoopy. It's a little spoopy. I don't know. We watched National Treasure, then we watched that, I think. So we're kind of like on that
Treasure's
genre.
great.
National Treasure is great. That's a franchise that needs 5 movies. Harrison, we gotta figure out what we gotta get to the bottom of that, man. Where's the
I
treasure?
think Uncharted looks a lot like Indiana Jones meets National Treasure.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't know.
100% agree.
I think it looks fun.
That's what I thought it was.
That's one with Tom Holland, right? Tom Holland's like Ethan Drake.
Nathan Drake, yeah.
Ethan Drake. That's
his
right.
brother.
Ethan Drake.
Ethan Drake.
Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake.
Yeah, Nathan.
No, I think I don't know if I'm that interested in that. I don't know. I'm not into like the Indiana Jones genre of movie.
Yeah, you're dumb.
Why? He was witty. He was cool.
Was he witty and cool?
He was definitely witty and cool.
I don't think he was witty.
Sean Connery was his dad.
Is that supposed to sway me?
That's cool.
That is cool.
I mean,
Sean Connery's my dad, I'd be
confirmed
way cooler.
yeah, but he's not actually.
That's true.
But
What do you mean?
he's not a real.
Just finish your fucking point, man.
He's
I'm
not
tired
a
of
real
going
kid.
on.
He's not a real guy. He's fake. His name's Indiana. That gives it
Sean
away.
Connery is very much real, Ryan. I don't know how to break it to you.
No, Indiana Jones is bad and it sucks and it's terrible.
Yeah, you're wrong about that.
You cannot
Literally,
like
the
it. To
whole
say it's
movie,
bad is
the
absurd.
whole movie consists of the fact that the fucking Germans would not have been able to get to the fucking treasure unless Indiana Jones screwed up. If Indiana Jones was not in the movie, the Germans would not have been able to get to the treasure.
But he has to go get it and put it in the museum. What are you talking about?
Indiana Jones is playing Animal Crossing. He has to get that last thing to complete his museum. I kind of went deep track there. That was kind of like a kind of a rogue thought. But but like seriously, the entire plot of that movie is that whether Indiana Jones is in the movie or not, it doesn't matter. The plot goes on, and like because
there's no movie without Indiana Jones.
I get that, but I'm saying the script and the
name
plot
of the
and
movie is Indiana Jones.
I understand. I'm just saying that if Indiana Jones was not Indiana Jones is the reason the Germans even got to the part where they had the thing and they're going to try to use it for evil purposes. If Indiana Jones is not in the movie, it never happens. That's how bad. That's how insignificant.
Movies are what?
No.
Silly. That's kind of a silly thing to say.
If you go. Whether Indiana
It's like
Jones,
saying if Obi-Wan Kenobi wasn't in A New Hope, then nothing would have happened.
No, what I'm saying is that when it get to the end and they try to get to the treasure, The Germans basically are kidnapping Indiana Jones and his lady, and they go and they witness the Germans finding like the relic or the treasure, whatever, the skull. They find it. And the only reason they're able to find it is because Indiana Jones led them there. But in the series, they were already had the map to get there. So if Indiana Jones is in the movie or not, the Germans already get there. He does not matter to the plot at all. He could be taken out and the same thing happens. The ending's the same. And in the end, Indiana Jones doesn't get the treasure, he doesn't get the relic, and he goes home. It's the exact...
At this point, I'm realizing that you care about it much more than I do. So
I do.
To concede this point. I'm willing to concede.
I care. The Indiana Jones is the most insignificant character in the entire franchise because he does nothing to help the plot.
I feel bad now. I thought for a sec I thought we cared about it the same, and then I realized you cared about it way more. That's on me.
You must have seen it pretty recently to recall
I did.
that
I
much.
saw it like a few months ago.
Yeah.
I remember watching it.
His viewing experience was very enjoyable.
I remember watching it thinking like if Indiana Jones is not in this movie, the ending is the same.
Every 10 minutes, like, why is he in here?
If he wasn't in the movie, they just call this movie just the Germans.
Get him out of here.
This guy's in the way. This guy's in the way of the story I want to see.
Not once has he used his whip to whip a girl and give her a kiss on the lips.
I gotta say, every
this guy's not using his whip in a wacky way.
Every name of his movie, if his name was not in it, it'd actually be pretty good.
Temple of Doom.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's sick.
Temple of Doom. The Last Crusade.
And all these religious relics. Who fucking cares?
That's what I'm saying. The
You're
Germans
gonna go find where Abraham's bones are buried. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, let him die. Let him be dead in peace, dog.
Yeah, some old fuck. Who cares? He almost killed Isaac. Right? Guys?
It's Isaac Newton?
His son.
Isaac Newton?
Yeah, Isaac Newton. That's Sir Isaac Newton to you.
Yeah, dumb bitch.
Was he knighted?
Yeah.
He was just in
When was he alive?
Didn't he just die?
1995, I think.
Wait, Eric, are you serious?
No, I'm not.
I was gonna say, I think maybe you're thinking of.
Wait, take a guess. Everybody take a guess. When was Isaac Newton? Everyone take a guess. Take a guess.
No.
I'm looking at it.
No, Eric, guess. When was he?
When he died? What are you?
Sure.
When like the range of when he was alive.
Yeah, what was his range?
Isaac Newton, Jesus Christ. I don't know. 1800s ish would be my guess.
I'm gonna say 16 to 1700s.
Have you seen it?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I was right. I did it.
Yeah, you're right. He was born in 1643 and died in 1727.
I did it.
1727.
Wow, that guy.
He was a key figure in the philosophical revolution known as the Enlightenment.
The Enlightenment. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a good time of my life.
Shut the fuck up.
Isn't that when everyone just got smart?
Everyone was enlightened. Yeah.
Everyone figured a bunch of shit
out. It was after the Dark Ages, dude.
That's when everyone became stupid, and then
they couldn't see.
When everyone died of the plague.
Dumb,
we're kind of in a dark age right now.
Yeah, we're
a little bit.
Yeah, back then, yeah, they didn't believe it was real. They didn't believe in modern medicine, so they fucking died.
They got bit by rats, and they're like, it's okay.
They didn't get bit by rats. That's not. They didn't get bit by rats.
Is that the Black Plague?
What?
That's the Black Plague. In fact, no, they weren't bitten by rats. The rats carried diseases.
Yeah, and they were I forget how it was.
They're just hanging out.
Because they had they were very lackadaisical with their excrement, so they would just throw it out into the street, and the rats would run through shit and then give them diseases.
Yeah.
I always love the meme of the the dogs during that age. They're it's like the little Shiba or whatever, and he's buffed up, and he's like, I'm a wolf. I just killed a bear to feed my human, and then the other one, the baby Shiba's like, my tummy hurts. I pooped on the couch.
Oh yeah, that was the Black Plague. That's exactly what the Black Plague was like.
Yeah, I just love that. Just reminds me of that time period.
Yeah, you really have a strong connection to that time period.
I sure do.
Yeah, it's back in the day, people were dealing with the plague.
Yeah.
and like they were serfs in the fields, and they had a lord, and they had no land, and they all slept in the same room.
Yeah.
And nowadays Ryan can't get water in his hair without having to dry off. What do you do in a range? Do you put like a little yellow hat on and some galoshes?
There's like those hats that are like umbrellas that you just put on your head. They're like a little umbrella, but you put
Yeah, I
on
know
your-
exactly what you're talking
I
about.
wear
I almost
those.
believe that. You produced that so quickly. I have no choice but to believe that.
Yeah, I have one in like every color.
Nice, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, that way I can match.
They're just out of frame on stream. One of these days you're gonna pan over. It's just gonna be just a row against your wall of different colored raincoats and galoshes and umbrella hats.
Just like I'm just really into that type of fashion. Raincoats and Colossians.
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 Galoshes.
Jesus Christ, dog. Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough being me. It really is. Can't swim, can't stretch. Can't get water in my eyes. I don't like it. I don't enjoy Indiana Jones. I mean, that shit. It's a tough life for me. It's pretty fucking tough. Yeah, you know?
Yeah, I feel bad for you.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to speak the truth. And it's going to be me. One might even say we're in a new age of enlightenment. And one might even say that I'm the Isaac Newton of this generation. Telling everybody about
Keep going, yeah.
Indiana Jones and his insignificance within this grand story of every Indiana Jones movie. I feel like, that's I mean, I don't want to use the word martyr, but it's the only one that comes to mind.
Indiana Jones is important to those movies because he's the one who has access to the museum.
Right? You keep talking about this
Otherwise,
museum.
they wouldn't be able to get into it. They wouldn't be able to just waltz into the museum.
They don't. No one wants to go to the museum.
He works there.
But no one wants to go. No one's going to the museum.
The real Paul Blart type of thing.
Yeah, it's like
he's like he's like the security guard of the museum.
He just cracks his whip on the ground. Hey! What are you doing in my museum? Something like that.
Yeah, it's like that.
We should send this to Spielberg.
Yeah, he's still alive.
I have a great idea for Indiana Jones 6, buddy. You're going to love this.
What a hack if he makes that movie.
I thought Spielberg was known for good movies.
I mean, he's made some stinkers.
Here's what I want. May I be so bold? I want Michael Bay to direct an Indiana Jones movie.
All right, so that's the take. We heard it. We don't need to get into it.
I think it's a good take.
Clearly a bad take.
I mean, think about how much more fun that movie would be.
I think your problem is that the character's dumb and the story's dumb, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how would it being a Michael Bay movie?
Because if it's going to be dumb anyway, might as well throw a few explosions in there.
There are plenty of...
Transformers was dumb, but like the explosions were cool.
It was cool because they had robots.
No,
robots. Shia LaBeouf. That's what made it cool.
Yeah, Optimus Prime and Shia LaBeouf, and the one that you chose that made that movie cool was Shia LaBeouf.
Yes.
Fucking Optimus Prime was there, dog.
Also, there was an Indiana Jones movie with Shia LaBeouf, lest we forget.
I remember. I know. It was not good.
Kate Blanchett is in the movie.
He was not good. Well, he might have been good, but the movie was terrible.
Just throwing it out there, man. Don't kill the messenger.
I bet that movie has less than a 40% Rotten Tomatoes.
Let's see here, Ryan. It has 78% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Why? There's no fucking way that movie got that high. No way.
Movies are like really bad now. Like this was a mediocre movie back then, and it was probably way better than all of the shit that comes out nowadays.
Everything
For
is
example,
a
Michael Bay's new
remake.
movie Ambulance.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, movies are especially bad now. I feel you're right. There are
Raiders of the Lost Ark, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You've been
bodied.
Way. That's a 95.
Next movie, 84%.
You can make the argument that those movies are better than the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
The
But-
original Star Wars trilogy probably has higher ratings. So
Even the fourth movie in 2008 got a 78.
yeah, that's what we're saying.
Oh,
Uh, That's ridiculous.
Bodied.
That's
But
ridiculous.
Shia.
Shia really, yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. Those movies are so. I can't believe they have that level of that score. That's insane to me. They absolutely do not deserve that score.
Mm-hmm.
Something's wrong here. We gotta get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I would definitely spend a lot of time on it.
I might. I just might, but yeah. In summation, Indiana Jones sucks ass. All right, I think that's it.
Talked about it.
I think it's all we have time for.
Yeah, I think we nailed it.
I think we really milked that for all it's worth. I don't even know what to title this podcast because we were so all over the place. Oh boy, awesome. Well, let's close things up. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in and listen to episode 3 of the podcast. That we appreciate you guys tuning in. Those of you that are tuning in live right now on Twitch, thank you so much. For audio listeners, I'll be listening to this after it gets posted. Thank you so much for taking a listen, for following us on our multiple channels. Thank you so much for following us on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, all of those. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Once again, we do these podcasts live on Twitch every other week, typically. You can definitely tune in on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/notscuba. We also stream other things like Minecraft, any type of video games, bunch of things. So we appreciate it if you tune in and hang out and watch what we do when it comes to other types of content. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully we get to see you again in episode 4. All right, see ya.